Yes, you're reading that correct. Garchomp. Yes, Garchomp is in danger for the first time of falling down to the UU tier. And if it does, by the way, probably up to UUBL. But I really hope it doesn't. But with Garchomp kind of being outclassed as well right now, this might be the case actually. Let me explain. Garchomp was great in the pre-home Scarlet and Violet metagame, primarily because of its speed tier and lower power level. 1 or 2 speed back then was pretty solid, and although there was checks like Iron Vine running around everywhere, Dragapult, etc., relatively speaking, it was able to hold up as a bulky hazard setter while dealing with a lot of the premier threats. Spikes, Stealth Rocks, then EQ, Draco Meteor to catch people off guard, and then either Fire Blast for Steel type Pokemon, or Dragonade to keep its chip damage onto the opponent's side by switching in Pokemon onto the hazards, and with its Rough Skin ability and Rocky Helmet, it was pretty solid against physical attackers as well. It was fast and very reliable in the tier as a unique offensive hazard setter as the power level catered to it more and more as well as the speed tier. Even Swords Dance and more offensive permeated Garchomp sets was incredibly powerful because of its good speed tier and how it outclassed many of its threats. This made it hard to outspeed it at times, and because its bulk, it could usually live a hit or two and then dish out a mean powerful attack. Speed for this Pokemon is everything, and this is dating back to even Generation 8 when it got Scale Shot, the opportunity to rise its speed. Although this wasn't game breaking or anything because this thing was already an OU like in every single generation, it just gave it more speed control, something Garchomp was desperately needed for generations on end. Garchomp being fast, having a good ability, amazing attack, like this Pokemon is incredible with the addition of Scale Shot, since it was one of the few dragons with that Dragon Dance for actually some odd reason, which I wish they actually gave this thing Dragon Dance, but that's a whole other video for another day. But its speed tier against some of the main threats in the tier is not that valuable anymore, at least not as much as an attacker, with the new popular threats like Enamorus or Darkrai Sneasler or Ursaluna, etc. running around, not to mention the terrestrialization aspect. And hey, quickly, just as an aside, I want to ask you guys if you guys are enjoying to consider subscribing to the channel for more competitive content like this. We're on the road to 8K subscribers and many of you guys watching are not subs, so if you guys enjoyed the content, you might as well tag along for more future content. But anyways, back to Garchomp. Even though it can outspeed other threats like Goldango, Skeletor, Zapdos, etc., there are just better utility offering Pokemon like Tusk or Landorus that can deal with those, and in addition offer more of what Garchomp can do. Like realistically, let me ask you guys, are those Pokemon really unnecessary to add Garchomp's addition to your team to outspeed and kill them? No, like they're very relevant Pokemon, like don't get me wrong at all, but Great Tusk, Landorus, Ting-Lu, etc. can all bypass Garchomp right now currently in the metagame because of their ability to provide more utility onto your side in this power increased metagame, not to mention the speed tiers. Those Pokemon aren't anything game breaking or threat inducive like the Topos or whatever previously that Garchomp had to deal with. Tusk can raise its speed while getting rid of hazards anyways, and Landorus usually runs choice scarf sets around these days to better itself while offering an amazing pivot move. And don't get me started on Ting-Lu's bulk, that kinda speaks for itself. Like all in all, its speed tier right now isn't all that good as it used to be, with more and more of its threats outspeeding it more than being below its speed tier. You might ask, however, what about a role as a hazard distributor, as it has been all generation throughout Generation 9 for the vast majority of its lifetime in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but it actually falls short in that department too. Because of the increase in power level in the tier right now, its mix of comparable defense stats and awkward speed tier is making it difficult to use in that role. Ting-Lu, a much bulkier Pokemon, does its job better because of insane bulk, so it will at least live a couple of hits while getting up spikes and rocks, something you might have to worry about with Garchomp. Therefore, it can do its job much more better, as well as use that famous whirlwind strat and gain chip damage towards your opponent's side while eating up a couple of hits as well. This is incredible. But obviously as well, if we're talking about hazards and spikes, we just gotta bring up Hisuian Samurott, who does the spikes job much better, because not only does it do damage, but it's also boosted the sharpness ability, making Choice Scarf's Cease's Edge sets extremely popular. And this obviously provides way more utility, as essentially you're getting 3 turns to do damage and set up a layer of spikes, which is just much more better than just laying up spikes for Garchomp, which then gives opportunity for our opponents to switch out and come in and take care of Garchomp the following turn. In short, Ting-Lu and Hisuian Samurott can play the hazard banner game much more better, while being an all-out attacker for Chomp might be appealing at first. The lack of speed control it has in the metagame right now is very glaring, and making it not that usable with its awkward speed stat. Garchomp for the most of Generation 9 has been in more of a utility role hazard setting mon, with the occasional Source Dance sets making an appearance, but with all this power creep in the meta right now, even that role is becoming difficult. What this Pokemon really needs is Dragon Dance, Game Freak. Please give this thing Dragon Dance, and this thing will actually be really viable in the metagame once more. Anyways, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you guys haven't already, join the Discord link in the description as well.